we've got the honor and the privilege of introducing our esteemed guest today. Just as a point of reference, it was 1976, so you can do the math, figure out how long ago that was, when a young man was heading out for really one of the first times on a long journey away from home as part of the scouting organization. That I went from where I was living in New Jersey on a combination of trains and buses out to the Philmont Scout Reservation in Cimarron, New Mexico. And that journey started roughly 1976 next week. And so it's fitting that I won the opportunity to introduce Wendy Shaw, who's our Scout Executive in the Coronado Council. She's going to tell us a little bit about who the folks are that are with her today representing Scouting. For those of you who were here when I made a presentation about the values of Scouting and Rotary, you appreciated the remarks that I made in terms of fitting in the few sentences behind me here, the four-way task. There was part of me that wanted to raise my hand as a scout and recite that oath too, but I resisted the temptation. Wendy Shaw has been with us as our council executive since February of 2014, and she came with roughly 15 plus years of experience as a scouter, and now, again, you can do the math, it's been 17 years that she's been part of Scouting in one way or the other. She previously worked in Colorado for the Pikes Peak Council in Colorado Springs, and most recently the Three Fires Council in St. Charles, Illinois. The Coronado Council is a relatively large council, and we have a number of professionals who help guide us and lead us as volunteer scouters, and I include myself in that set. Coronado Council comprises 32 counties in north central and northwest Kansas. We go all the way out to the Colorado border and all the way up to the Nebraska border, and just a little farther south of I-70. So you can imagine how much a challenge it is to organize volunteers and professionals in an area that large and do so much for the communities and the people and the scouts, the young men and young women who are involved in scouting throughout this part of Kansas. It's a tremendous job that she has, and it's a tremendous honor that I have to introduce Wendy Shaw.
Hi, everybody. Thank you very much for having me today. It's I'm not sure if you're aware, but you did invite a Salina Rotarian, so I hope that's acceptable to everybody. So it's a pleasure to be with fellow Rotarians, and I see lots of scouting friendly faces in the crowd, and I appreciate all the great support we get from the Manhattan community. And I know many of you have been involved in scouting and continue to financially support us. So thank you for all that you do to make that happen. And a special thank you to Tom and Peter. They are two of our 37 board members, and we have quite a few from the Manhattan community, but of course our board is representative of our entire 32 county area. So we have lots of board members from a lot of different communities from across that territory. With me today, we have the two staff who serve the immediate area, Junction City, Manhattan, and the surrounding counties, and they are Ryan Pickett and Tina Thompson, and they do an outstanding job, and I couldn't be more proud of the work that the two of them do to make sure that there's great scouting that is happening in this local area. And they have had great success with recruiting more kids, and in fact we have seen more kids join in recent years here in the area, and that's in large part due to their efforts to make sure that every youth has an opportunity to join. So thanks both of you for joining us here today. On your table is is there's a couple of handouts, but I want to mention the one that looks like this. The recently a study was done about how effective Cub Scouting actually is, and all of us know that Scouting does great things for our youth, but it's wonderful when research actually shows that it can prove it. And so if you want to take a minute to look at the handouts, there's some great research there, and I thought I would share that with you. But the best part of the presentation today, I know, is going to be my other guest with me today, and that's Braden Schmidt. And he's going to talk about his scouting, and I couldn't be more proud of Braden and what he has accomplished in scouting, and more importantly, what he is yet to do in scouting. So please welcome to the podium, Braden Schmidt.
Hi, my name is Braden Schmidt. I'm 15. I'm a sophomore at Chapman High School out of Troop 64. I'm an Eagle Scout. I've been in scouting for 9 years now. I started as a Tiger Scout, was in Cub Scouts for 5 years, and now I'm going on my 4th year as a Boy Scout. I made high honor roll all through middle school and now high school. I'm in FBLA and Scholars Bowl. My Eagle project was building recycling bins for our athletic department at our high school, and now those are used at football games and track meets. I currently have 112 merit badges. Currently there are 136 possible, and if I continue to get all of them, I'll have 137 since they have discontinued computers. In my experience, last August I had the chance of going to NOAC, which is the National Word of the Arrow Convention, and basically we rode a train up to East Lansing, Michigan. We spent a week up there, and while you're there you get a fine dining experience basically. And you get to go to what they call the hub, which is an activity center, and you get to spend the entire day there. You can go rock climbing, branding. There's a lot of options of what you want to do there. And every night there's a show, so they have either a guest speaker there, or last night they actually had a play. And after the play, we had a light show with 3D projectors from the ceilings and light shows. And then I attended Camp Hansen, which is the bigger of the two for Boy Scouts, our camp. And I've been there for 5 years now. I just got the 5-year medal award. And I have basically every merit badge that they offer out there now. I'm on my 2nd term as the Order of the Air Secretary, and I plan on this September running for a 3rd term. After high school, I plan on going to Washburn University for the School of Nursing to become a trauma nurse. And I have to say that at Camp Brown, it's more than just being a staff member there. Currently I work there as a lifeguard and a Scout skill instructor. And when you're on staff at Camp Brown, you're not just on staff, you're also part of a scouting family. And it's not the family that you argue and bicker with. It's more of we love each other and we'll help each other out when we need it. And actually today I came back from Camp Brown to come out here to speak with you guys, and right afterwards I'll be going back to help them out. And I would just like to thank all of you guys for making it possible to have a wonderful experience in scouting.
Quite an impressive young man, isn't he? Braden, stand up one more time so we can see that merit badge. So look at all those merit badges. Anybody else in the room earn 112? There are very few scouts anywhere in the country that earn all of the merit badges. And I am so excited for the day when Braden earns the 137th merit badge, because we are going to celebrate. That is going to be something really celebrate that we have such an accomplished young man. We have a lot of accomplished scouts in Coronado Area Council, but Braden is certainly up there at the top. But I wanted to talk to you, as Braden mentioned, we have a great summer camp program for our Cub Scouts at Camp Brown, and Braden's a part of that as camp staff. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about what we've been doing at Camp Brown. We have been in a campaign since 2012 to raise funds for both of our camps and to grow our endowment. And I've got some of the numbers there on the slide, so I won't, you can read it for yourselves, I won't go over it in detail. But as you can see, the bulk of the money raised has been used to improve our facilities and add additional facilities to Camp Brown. And that has been much needed and a long time in coming. And so we have, so far, we have completed 6 projects, our phase 1 and 2. We'll have 4 more that'll be done by next summer. That'll be our phase 3. And we're still working on raising money to complete our phase 4. So I'll show you some of the details there. So, yes, sir.
Where is Camp Brown and where is Camp Hansen?
So Camp Brown is south of Abilene, and Camp Hansen is by Kerwin Reservoir, near the town of Kerwin, hour north of Hayes. And if you're familiar with the Kerwin Reservoir, it's in the southeast corner. So we have a beautiful view from my favorite spot at Camp Hansen is the chapel, because you have a beautiful view of the reservoir and great sunsets from there as well. Any other questions? Okay. So these are the 6 projects that we've done so far, and I'm going to show you pictures of each one of them. So if anybody ever went to the amphitheater there, the campfire area at Camp Brown, we're talking about old wooden benches. I told everybody, sorry guys, the days of getting slivers when you were sitting in the campfire are gone. Sorry. But thanks to Jim Waters and his family, we have a beautiful new campfire area. And as you can see, that's local contractor RM Brill did that work. I'm sure some of you will recognize that name. We also did a restroom and shower facility, and as you can see, there's six individual shower and bathrooms. So you've got a toilet, a sink, and a shower in each room. So it makes it very, regardless of who we have at camp, young kids, older kids, moms, dads, siblings, this is a great facility. The moms love it. This is important for the moms, so a great addition to camp. And this is right in the campground area, so that's where that's located. So then the Salina Regional Health Foundation gave us a generous gift, and we were able to take what had been terraced cornfield, pretty unusable space at Camp Brown, and turned it into these sports fields. And we added the pavilion as well, so we've got some shade and storage. And then the remainder of the money we used for what we call the Scout Ninja course. And it is just a great addition to camp, and I have a couple of pictures of, because it's just so fun. The Cub Scouts were having a blast on this when I was there last weekend, and as you can see, they weren't interested at all in this new activity area. They were having way too much fun. They find new ways to climb on these things, you know, as we're all looking at it, it's like, well, that looks fun, and then they start climbing on it, it's like, wow, I would have never thought to do that. I guess that's the fun of having boys in camp. All right, again, not necessarily a terribly exciting project, but a very important one, a new parking area. Previously, our camping area was right in front of the dining hall and right in the middle of camp, and this parking lot is near the south entrance, and it's really dramatically cut down the amount of vehicle traffic going through camp. And this is probably one of the projects I'm the most excited about, because from a health and safety standpoint, it has really curtailed all the vehicles coming and going through camp. We do have a full-time ranger who lives on the property. That's a new thing in the last 5 years, I think, that has been there. he had been living in about 700 square feet house, and so we had a generous donor from the Abilene area, and they gave us the funds to build Donald a home. So, and it wasn't exactly, we did it barely in enough time, because not only did Donald get married, but they had their first child in February. So they moved into this this new home in November. So they were pretty eager to move into a real residence. We also have 5 of these cabins, again, thanks to the Dr. Cindy and Helen Lee from Salina. They were orthodontists in Salina, and so we have 5 of these cabins, and they do have heat and air conditioning. And so it's a great, that's where Braden is staying while he is at camp. And as we were driving over here, Braden was talking about where they have the air conditioning set. I might have to adjust that, so I think the electrical bill is going to be a little expensive. But no, it is so great. You know, the staff works so hard, and it's great when they're done for the night to actually be in a cool space. And after several weeks, especially this weekend with the heat, the predictions that they have for the temperatures, that's going to be a welcome thing to, at the end of the day, to go someplace air conditioned. But I know our scouts are looking forward to this too in some of their winter camping, to be able to turn on the heat and have an option besides tents. And this is another, as you can see, they're more complete. Some of my pictures aren't real time. We were under the gun to get the projects done before camp started a week ago. So these pictures are a couple weeks old. So we have a couple more things we're going to get done by next summer. So we're going to do a new fishing area, a new shooting sports facility, and a technology center. And we were very thankful to have received Kansas Community Tax Credits for the technology center. And that's going to be a very exciting addition. Scouting has always done STEM, before it was called STEM. But we're really excited to emphasize that and have a great facility at Camp Brown where we can highlight those activities and do the different STEM merit badges such as engineering and robotics and digital technology, etc. And then our storm shelter does need some repairs, so we're going to get that done too before next summer. Great. So thank you very much. Any questions for Braden and I?
Over here.
Yes.
Did I understand Braden say that the merit badge and computers was dropped?
Yes, they have replaced it with digital technology. So they renamed it, and it's my understanding that the requirements are significantly different as well. So they still have, there's probably 2 or 3 that fall in that category of computers, and they've divided it up now as that field has expanded. They've divided it up into multiple merit badges instead of single one. Yes, Bill.
What was your most difficult badge?
Braden, you want to come up? Yeah, I know. I knew this was going to be good.
I would say right now I'd be working on one of the harder ones, and that would be either hiking or cycling, just for the fact that it takes a lot of time to complete it, because with biking you start out with 2 10-mile hikes, and you have 15-mile hikes, and you have 25, and you have a 50. So it just takes time, because you have to, one, get in shape, and then you also have to spend the time to actually do it.
Okay.
What's the minimum number of merit badges for Eagle?
21.
That's all.
21.
And is it true that the first 11 or 12 astronauts were Eagle Scouts, or what's that figure actually?
I forget the exact number, but yes.
11 of the first 12 were Eagle Scouts or something?
Wendy, total number of youth, total number of adults that use Camp Brown throughout a year, do you know approximately what that would be?
Yeah, it's right around, Tom's question is the usage we have at Camp Brown, and we count it as camper days, And so we count how many youth and how many adults and how long their stay is. So we have about 15,000 camper days at Camp Brown every year. And we've seen our camping, our co-resident camp that's going on right now. We've seen a significant increase in attendance this year. And we do think that it's largely attributed to the new facilities that we have there. And we get scouts from not just Coronado Area Council, but quite a few from Privera, which is the council out of Wichita. Yes, in the back.
Handicap accessibility, do you have that?
We do have some. One of our projects that I didn't talk about in phase 4 is to do some renovations to our dining hall area, so that way we can be more accessible. Many of the facilities are accessible, but we want to be able to offer a housing option that's accessible, and so the renovations we're planning in phase 4 would allow for accessible housing option. Yes?
I wanted to ask Braden, what enticed you into scouting?
Alright, so I can remember the very day that I signed up for scouting. I was about 6, and I was standing outside of what was the golf hut in Chapman. And so I signed up to become in scouting because I thought it was cool, and my friends were doing it. And then I would say 10 minutes after I signed up, they had me outside handing out stuff to the people that were there to sign up. And I would say that was fun because I got to experience it and be with my friends, and we got to help other people right away.
Thank you very much. I just happen to have something for Braden. It's an official Rotary 4-way test coin. That's for you, and you may keep it or you may pass it on to someone that you know would appreciate it. You're welcome.